Most of the online millionaires you see on YouTube are frauds. Sure, some of them are actual millionaires, but they got there selling courses, not actually following their own advice and building businesses. And if you follow their advice, you could end up wasting years of your life. And frankly, this just pisses me off. So I'm making this video to set the record straight and to help you actually figure out the smartest path to becoming a young millionaire. You see, not long ago, I was in your shoes. I was 24 years old, living in a tiny 300 square foot apartment with a mini fridge, broke. I had bills piling up, I was super stressed out, and I wanted to make a change. I just didn't know what to do. But in just 7 years, I was able to build a real business that I sold for $110 million. You can look this up, it's public information. I was acquired by a public company called Upstart. And the reason I'm telling you this story is twofold. First, I have done exactly what I'm gonna walk you through. This isn't some hypothetical idea. I did it, I lived it, and now I'm here to talk about it. And the second reason is, I don't need your money. I don't need anyone's money. I've already made my money. I'm plenty successful. I just want to give back. I had a lot of people help me along the way, and now I just want to help you. So let's get into it. So the first path we're going to look at is actually probably the most common suggested path to get wealthy, which is to be the highly paid employee. People talk about setting aside your savings, put it in the market, it will compound over time. And listen, this is not a bad way to get wealthy if you want to be wealthy when you're 80 years old. But if you want to be a young millionaire and actually be able to enjoy your money, live your life to the fullest, highly paid employee just does not cut it. It simply takes too long. You don't have enough ownership in anything, and so this path is really not for you. You need to find a way to get out of that and start a business where you actually own something and can build your wealth. So let's talk about businesses that you can actually start. Well, probably the most common one that you see online is e-commerce. And I'm sorry, but these e-commerce guys drive me freaking nuts. They constantly talk about sales figures as if it's their actual profit. E-commerce sales figures are not profit. The way e-commerce works is you could sell $1 million of product, but your margin might be 20%. And so you would only make $200,000. Oh, but wait, you have to pay Amazon 15%. You have to pay advertising. And all of a sudden your $1 million sales figure looks like a couple $1,000s a month. You might be making practically minimum wage in your e-commerce business, even though you're doing millions of dollars in revenue. So whenever we're talking e-commerce, the first thing you need to do is be careful of the sales figures that they're talking about. Understand that these are sales figures, not actual profit and cash that they can put into their bank account. That said, let's talk about sort of the two flavors of e-commerce and why I generally don't recommend it. So the first and probably most common flavor you will see online is dropshipping. Dropshipping is where you don't own the product, you don't build the product, someone else invents the product, you just sell it. The problem with this is you are selling the same product anyone has access to. All you need to do to be in dropshipping is get access to a dropshipping catalog, list that product somewhere, and you're in business. That's way too easy, so everyone does it. And when everyone does it, margins go down. Typical dropshipping margins are like 15 to maybe 30% if you're lucky. But like I said, after Amazon takes their cut, after your advertising kicks in, there's not much left on the bone for you, the entrepreneur. So dropshipping, while easy to get started, generally doesn't produce much profit. So then let's talk about the other path, which is I'm gonna invent a product. Now, inventing a product is really cool. You can actually build much higher margins and you can stand out, so you're not just building the same product as everybody else, and you can really build a real business behind it. The reason I generally don't like it for young entrepreneurs is it's too much overhead. You see, when you create a product, first you need to have R&D, you need to figure out what people want. Second, you need to find a manufacturer. And third, you need to actually run a full logistics business. You're not just producing this product on demand and then shipping it. You have to learn so many skills around hardware, manufacturing, logistics, shipping, on top of just running a business. How do you hire great people? How do you do marketing? How do you do sales? It can work, but it's just a little bit too much. I'd rather you start a simpler business. So maybe you say, okay, e-commerce isn't for me. Well, what about real estate? All these real estate gurus seem to be wealthy, seem to be rich. They say it's really easy, just buy a home and make money. Real estate people also drive me nuts. I don't know why, but it's like real estate people refuse to learn any other skill set. All they want to do is talk about real estate, sell real estate, push real estate on other people as if it's the only safe way to make money. Listen, real estate can make you money, but it is generally speaking a get-rich-slow scheme. You will get rich over time as your properties compound, as you build up cash flow and you buy more and more properties, but it's not going to change your life overnight. And the sad reality is oftentimes you would have been just as good putting your money into the S&P 500. In fact, if you look at the average real estate appreciation over the last 100 years, you will see it's underperformed the S&P 500. So yes, real estate builds wealth, but it's not really a business that can quickly change your life. It's more of an asset class. And this is what drives me nuts about these real estate guys. They love to quote stats like, well, 99% of millionaires own real estate. Duh, it's a freaking asset class. That's like saying 99% of millionaires own stocks. Real estate is an asset class that the wealthy use to diversify their wealth. I don't have anything against real estate. I have a large chunk of my net worth in real estate. I'm even building a 42-acre resort personally, financing the entire thing myself to build up my asset class of real estate. But it's not a way to get rich. It is a way to preserve and diversify your wealth. So yes, invest in real estate, especially once you've made it, but early on you need to be building a business that you can actually scale. So one of the most popular businesses that you can actually build and scale is a service business. This is like Alex Hormozi with Gym Launch or Iman Gadzhi with his agency. But listen, service businesses at the end of the day are just high-paid jobs that someone else is paying you to do. That's the fundamental way a service business works. You're not selling a physical product or a digital product. You are selling a service. Let's say your service is worth $100 an hour. Someone will pay you $100 an hour. You then need to go find cheaper labor, maybe $20 an hour, have them do the work, and then you collect the difference. And so it's not really a business that scales easily. It scales based on the more people you hire at a cheaper rate than other people will pay you. Now within this category, there are kind of two types of service businesses. There are what I would call expert service businesses. These are things like doctors, investment managers, so on. These require expert skills. And so starting a service business that requires expert skills takes so long to get going that obviously I don't recommend it. If you want to be a doctor, you're going to be in school for like a decade before you can even start practicing, much less open a medical practice. So let's just rule the expert service business out. The second option then is more of a common skill, or a skill that not everybody knows but can be relatively easily learned. These are basic things like mowing lawns, painting houses, or even, again, the most common one that I see on the internet these days, social media marketing agency. These businesses can work, but there are two problems that often kill them. First, anyone can start them. If you can take a course and learn some skill set in just a couple hours and then try to go sell that to other people, then so can everyone else. And so the competition level is very high and everyone's sort of selling the same thing. The second thing is the way that you stand out in that competition is you still have to be an expert. And this is what breaks my heart. I get so many messages from people that started these sort of easy to spin up service businesses asking me, hey, how come I can't get clients? I'm not getting any clients for my business. The reality is I have to look at them and say, why would anyone hire you? You are not an expert in your field. You have no credibility doing this exact service. Why, if I was a business, would I hire you over the established professional companies that are delivering this service? And yes, I get it. Everybody starts from somewhere, but it's not easy to stand out in a crowded market when it's so easy to get started. And to top it all off, service businesses are extremely hard to sell. Because it's essentially a people business, you have hundreds of people selling a service to you for a lower dollar than you sell it to other people. Not many acquirers actually want to own that business. There's a lot of overhead, there's a lot of management, and so when you go to sell a business like this, you'll be lucky if you get 1x revenue. So if you're doing $1 million a year in sales, maybe you'll get $1 million offer. It's not very good. And this brings me to my fifth way to build wealth, which is a technology business. Technology businesses are easily the best way for young people to build wealth today. You see, a technology business is just like a service business. You are solving someone else's problem. But instead of solving that problem by hiring hundreds of people that you are trying to pay less than the market will pay you, you solve it through software. Software scales infinitely and easily. If you have 10 clients or 1,000 clients, the same software will solve their problems. And this allows you to build wealth much faster than these other businesses. But there are some unique benefits to software businesses that nothing else has. First, people invest in them, so you don't have to risk your own capital. People will literally pay you to build your dreams. They're angel investors, venture capitalists. They will invest in your business and help you grow. There are also basically no overhead costs. There's no hardware, there's no logistics. All you need is a computer and the internet, and you can build a technology business. And finally, there is an extremely high likelihood of you being acquired relative to other businesses. When you build a software business, larger businesses who are lacking that in their portfolio often want to acquire you. And they won't just pay 1x revenue like a service business. They will pay 5x, 10x revenue. So even if you have a service business, you can start building technology that delivers the same value and all of a sudden 10x your wealth just by adding a technology component to it. And this is exactly what I did. I found an outdated niche, in my case car dealerships, that had real problems and built software to solve them. I had no experience in car dealerships, I had never sold cars, never worked in a car dealership, but I knew I could make something that they would like, and ultimately that would be a successful business. Now, if you're committed to being young and successful, I just made a video on 18 life lessons to help young people become millionaires. I'll put the link over here, so click it and I'll see you there.